Previously on Quest Friends.
Red's blessing?
It's able to get you connected to it. Whoever uses Red's blessing sacrifices themselves to the cloud, but unlike the other victims, is able to keep free will and able to fight it from the inside. What happens is we have the Brackleberries, and Myra and Sunny are going to go off someplace in the Steadfast to run basically a peace conference in order to kind of undo all the damage the Jagged Tree has done. I'm just saying that you offered to help me out if I ever needed any help, and she eventually grabs an object which we can't see because it's in her hand, and she sets it in your hand, Hop. And she just says, if you ever need my help, you'll know where to find me.
We need to leave right now. Right now. We need to wake everyone up. Who was the last person responsible for maintenance of the shield here?
It was Unit 909, but they haven't been in charge of that for a year or so.
But why is that?
You were never supposed to bring anything back to the Weal, Shock. You were supposed to leave permanently.
One day, there was a baby dragon lying in a bed of flowers. The dragon's name was Inuki, but the flowers, they never did say. Maybe the flowers didn't speak in psychic links, or maybe they couldn't think of what to tell her, or maybe they were simply shy. But Inuki didn't mind. She always had so much to share. Stories of adventures and of flying, and of her best friend in the whole wide world, who saved her from that nasty TJ and did everything he could to keep her safe. And Inuki felt safe. She had felt safe for a long time. But the flowers, well, with a rump, bump, bump, the baby dragon pounced on her prey. And with a munch, 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 she gobbled up the flowers resting in the bed. But for the first time, Inuki didn't eat every single flower. She didn't even eat half. Because her belly was full and the flowers were so pretty. Inuki knew it would be selfish not to share them with all her friends. Because Inuki had friends. She had so many friends. And she had so many flowers. And she was so very happy.
Excuse me? Why don't you explain everything to all of us, and I will stay very calm.
And Horace sighs and leans on his cane.
About a year ago, the last time I came back from scavenging, I had heard rumors of a new vote. The Weal, you see, very rarely makes decisions. And when we do, the whole town convenes in the town hall and votes on it. It's a regular irregularity. And I knew that one day my role would be what we voted on. You have to understand, the machines of the Weal like things the way they are. Everyone has their routine, and they complete it like clockwork. But as much as we admire that routine, we machines aren't perfect. When we get cut, we don't heal the way you do. We need repairs. We need new parts. Scavengers like myself, well, only myself in fact, were a begrudged necessity. I knew that when the vote came, I would stand no chance. So, instead, I put forward a new motion, one that hadn't been brought forward in the Weal for centuries. I motioned to exile Shock, and J. Kell reluctantly agreed to second my motion. I promise I did not wish for you to leave, Shock. There is nothing I wanted less in all the Ninth World. But when given the choice between having you cast out forever or having you stuck in this decaying
are they just giving up? They didn't even have to work that hard to keep things up. Don't they care at all?
Care? They most certainly do care, otherwise they wouldn't have done such a massive vote.
Do not mistake the Weal's fear for some kind of indifference.
Shock's going to be at a loss for words for a few moments and then say, I don't know how I could even begin to try to convince everyone that they should take care of themselves. That's so vast. If even you two couldn't persuade people to try, if they want to just sit here and waste away, what do we do? No, you know what? I don't care. They can choose to do what they want, but while I'm here, I'll at least protect them from the trouble that I brought. We will go find Unit 909. We will figure out how to fix the shield. There's still the stash. There are like the part dumps. We can find something that we still have left over, and we'll figure out how to keep the Apocrita out.
Shock, did you not just listen to everything Horus said? The Weal banned all changes. They won't allow the fixing of the generator.
Are they going to stop me if I try?
I mean, Shock is already here, so they can't re-evict him, can they?
Well, you know, a machine that has been evicted has never come back, actually, so we may be fine on that front. But they still will not take kindly to you just fixing their generator.
They'll have to get through me. Ellie punches her fists together so that the metal clangs.
J-Kel jumps before Little Beep goes, Ellie Badge, a human, has augmented her bones with metal, making her stronger than most humans and machines. I'll note that down.
Do we need to look at the shield, whatever thing, so you know what you need? Or do you want to just go and find machine things to put on the shield thing?
I think my plan's what I said before. I want to go talk to Unit 909 first. If they aren't cooperative, then we'll look up what needs to be done ourselves to fix it. And then we will just find whatever is on hand. There's actually quite a lot of stuff just sitting right next to where the shield generator is. It's like a huge pile of just stuff we've put here over the last few thousand years. We'll be able to find something when we're there.
And J-Kel just looks from you to Horus, and Horus is just sitting there, like, gently nodding his head. And a few of J-Kel's arms point and say, I would like to put it on a record that I am not a fan of this plan. Alright, so are you all just gonna go to, like, Unit 909's house?
I guess so.
Is in one threatening group? Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so Unit 909 is living their life. Unit 909 looks like one of those battle bots. If you have never seen the battle bots before, they're these little Roomba-looking things that usually are square and have a slanted front and have some kind of appendage, like a big razor or like a bird head that pokes. And so it's like a Swiss Army knife. Unit 909 has all of these. But besides that, they are essentially a murder Roomba. But in this case, it's more like a janitor Roomba.
So just a Roomba. But with arms.
And Unit 909 is actually doing their standard part of the day, where they are just going from one side of the room to the other, hitting the wall, turning, continuing to move, just vacuuming their space. And there is a knock on the door and a little angry beat from Unit 909 as they hit a wall in order to turn towards this door. And everyone else, you see a door that is actually soldered in. Like, you can't open it. There is no door handle or anything like that. It is clearly a full door that has just been cemented in. But there's a little thin doggy door mail slot at the bottom. And this janitor battlebot just flaps through the little dog door and stops in front of all of you, alarmed. What?
Hello, Unit 909. It's me again, Shock. Do you remember me? I lived here up until about a year ago.
Shock. Yes, I remember Shock from the great dimming of year Y minus 13 when all of Power Stand Street went out.
Yeah, I did do that, didn't I? Hi, so my friends and I came here today because we have some serious concerns about the shield generator. It just doesn't feel like it's very safe in its current state. And since you formerly did maintenance on that device, I was wondering if you would be so kind as to tell us what needs fixing and maybe even to help us fix it, if you can spare the time.
And there's a little uncertain beep. I have been removed from that duty as of day D-174. The shield generator should no longer be repaired.
But did you vote for that decision to remove you from that duty?
I do not see why that is relevant.
Well, I'm just asking what your personal feelings are on this.
The Weal has been a lot messier since the removal of the policy. Rain and dirt and other horrible aggravants have gotten all over, and there is no designated clean bot. Everything was much tidier when the shield generator was up.
It sounds like by trying to vote for 0 changes ever, it's actually causing quite a few changes to the normal state of operations here in the Weal.
You're gonna fry this little robot's brain.
No, please!
Give me a roll to, persuade.
Oh, am I specialized? Let me take a look at my sheet. It's been so long since I've actually spoken to a machine who wasn't, a party member or, a named NPC in our group. What the fuck are my skills? Yes, I am specialized in this, so hold on. Hold the phone. I'm actually good at talking to machines and persuading them. Why didn't I apply ever? Oh. I rolled a 5, but 2 steps easier, am I right? So long as it was a 9 or lower.
I think you are talking outside of the wants of the Weal. Good day.
Wait, hold on.
And they start bashing themselves against you to turn around.
Hold on a minute. Unit 909, please. Look, it's one thing to vote on what you yourself are choosing to do with your time. I can't make you do anything you don't want to. But these choices are harming everyone in the Weal. Now, I just want to fix this shield so that this place can be a little bit safer. Will you at least tell me how to fix it myself? After all, I'm not part of the Weal anymore. I don't have to listen to your vote that it not be repaired.
I also kind of have an ability, but I think that, in case you don't have anything.
Misha, what were you gonna do?
Well, actually, probably not, because of what Shock said, because I have an ability called Data Sphere Control, and I can control the functions of any Numenera outside of what's unarmed.
No, please! We took that power away from me!
But I'm not going to do that, because Shock said I can't make you do things, and I feel bad doing that right after Shock said that.
Misha was stepping forward.
My original tier 6 ability was to just straight up mind control any machine I want, intelligent or otherwise, and we took that away.
The thing is, that's part of my artificial intelligence tier 6 thing.
Oh, no.
Well, that could be real helpful for things that aren't robots.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not going to have you roll again. You rolled pretty poorly the first time, and I don't think your argument is really helping.
No, that's fair.
So Unit 909 is going to say, you may do whatever you want. You are correct that you are no longer a member of the Weal, but I am, and I must respect its decisions. And Unit 909 turns around and goes back inside.
Okay. New plan. Misha Jarvis badge. Let's go to the shield, and maybe we can just search the data sphere to find what needs to be done. Surely there has to be some information on how this thing is supposed to work.
That sounds like a good plan, Shock. Let's do that.
All right.
Also, I think your parents are very lovely.
Oh,
Just by the way.
oh, thank you. I hope it wasn't too strange. I know I dragged you all here very suddenly and without a lot of warning, and I know that they can be kind of overwhelming in different ways, but for what it's worth, I think they both really like all of you.
Misha's eyes will lighten up at Shock saying that they liked them.
All right. So, swish. A nut at the top of the stash sits there for a second. And then with a dink and a dink and another dink, it hits another nut, a screw, a bolt, a motherboard, as it just plops down and slowly rests at the bottom of this large pile of just miscellaneous parts and tools, probably 12 feet high, 12 feet wide. Next to this stash of miscellaneous parts, there is a discontinued elevator next to these weird chiseled stairs in the rock wall. It's this weird in-the-wall stepladder kind of setup, which leads up dozens and dozens of feet to this old big generator. And all of you find yourself at the foot of these rungs and at the foot of this stash.
So where do we start?
There's one other thing we probably need to figure out from the data sphere. The shield keeps some things out. Mostly, we used it to keep dangerous weather from affecting the buildings and people inside, especially because some machines aren't very mobile, and so it's hard for them to move to shelter if they need to. So I think it'll probably keep out the worst of the storm, but I don't really think there's anything to stop the constructs, the obsidian soldier things that Aegon makes, from just walking through the shield if they land on the ground. So we maybe also need to make some modifications and try to develop something that'll, I don't know, stop them from wandering in here and hurting people. And actually, since Misha's my patron now anyway, like, do we just combine our powers to search the data sphere?
Yeah, so what happens is, Shock, you go to search the data sphere, and Misha, you start hearing what sounds like a little phone call. A little diddle-it, diddle-it, diddle-it.
I shall pick up.
And when you pick it up, in your vision, a little customer support chat box with Shock's name at the top appears.
Adorable.
Oh, I was hoping it would be audio both ways. That way we can open up the mental link and it'll be like having a Zoom and a Hangouts open at the same time, just echoing over each other.
There's like all these echoes.
Yeah, do it. Fine. Let there be horrible echo.
It's like, well, hello, Misha Jarvis Badge. This is certainly a strange new sensation.
This is very interesting, Shock. I don't know if I like it or dislike it yet.
Well, I thought, twice the channels, twice the communication.
Yes, I think it could be a good idea. It is a little disorienting, I will say, but I will get used to it. Let us get to work.
Okay, I'll close out one of the channels for now to avoid.
No, don't close it. It's okay.
Oh, no.
This is going to be hell for the listeners, just hell for the audience with this weird echo. I probably won't include it. So what question are you asking, or what ability are you using?
I did not plan that far ahead. Let's see.
Back to the good old character sheet.
Well, I know you're asking Misha, Tom, so...
Well, so here's my thing. There's not a lot of point in me using a formal ability to ask Misha a question, because I can ask Misha a more complicated question than what my powers allow, and Misha will answer truthfully.
Well, so how it mechanically will work is that essentially you two have your abilities combined. So Misha has their ask for the data sphere, you have yours. So even if Misha may answer more truthfully, the extent of your abilities will limit that.
I see. Because I also have other abilities, but that might be a thing that I want to do after. I have like Data Sphere Spy could be useful. I could just go all over it and see through all of the devices that are near me.
I guess the first question we would want to ask would be like, how do we fix the shield to get it to operate again?
Without the aid of anything else, it would be a level 8 roll.
You wiki-how'd to fix the thing.
Yeah, it was a WikiHow article. It pulled up, and it didn't give you details like specs or anything. It's just like, yeah, you put this part and this part, and there's like a video of a guy doing it on like a Volkswagen version. That's not quite your model, but it's pretty close. The lighting is pretty bad, and you can't hear him over the street cars nearby. So it's just like, don't touch this part. That's gonna cause major problems. Yeah.
Which then echoes because you left both of the calls open.
Oh no.
So that's what you got. You got enough that it could be a level 8 roll.
Okay. Well, time to make that roll harder, I guess. Like, I, both as a player and Shock as a character, don't yet have, like, a clear idea of how we deal with the soldiers, because we've never gotten an impression that Lowell has a limited number of those. So, like, how the hell what would we even design to keep them out? Like, I don't know if there's a way to, like, electrify the shield such that, like, it shorts out whatever keeps the soldiers active or what, because we barely even know how they work.
No.
I'm trying to think. The vaccine that Mr. Mako made to counteract the thing, that was like an actual biological thing to chase out spider venom, right?
Yes, that was biological.
Okay. I'm trying to search my brain. Was there ever anything about a frequency to keep the spiders away or like fuck up the Apocrita?
Is there any way to incorporate Red's blessing somehow into this shield? Somehow? I don't know.
Yeah, if you ask something like how to use Red's blessing, the answer is you could incorporate Red's blessing. However, the intersections of your knowledge aren't quite enough for that. Like, you've got knowledge of Numenera, you've got some knowledge of machines, but that intersection of a deep understanding of the artifact and a deep understanding of engineering, you would need to basically have one person specialized in one and another in order to make that work.
Would it by any chance JKL or Horse or anybody else in this place that likes Shock know enough about engineering to help us with this?
I'm gonna answer that by Horace walks up to you, JKL skittering by his side, and he looks at you looking at Red's blessing and says,
I thought you were supposed to stab that in the soldier.
Well, yes, we need this to shut down the Apocrita as a whole. We were wondering if maybe we could apply some of the principles, though, to the shield and make it more safe against the Apocrita specifically.
Oh, is that what you were wondering? Because Hopper and I have just been standing here trying to figure out what you've been doing because you've been talking to each other in your heads looking at Red's blessing and we've just kind of been, like, trying to figure out what's going on.
Oh, sorry.
My apologies.
I forget sometimes.
Me too. If it is any consolation, there was a lot of noise in our mental end, so I do not know if you or Simon Scotch would like that.
So, you think you can make the shield run again?
Yes, I'm very confident in our ability to fix it.
I think so as well. Does Hopper knows any, he knows math. Does he know any engineering?
I was gonna ask. Okay, so I have an ability called Calculate where I can determine the odds of a certain task succeeding. So I was going to ask if, based on any of the suggestions that people more knowledgeable than he had, he could, calculate it using his Calculate ability.
yeah, calculate the odds.
Of our thing succeeding? Okay. 8.
When I say impossible, I mean impossible.
God damn it, Kyle.
You would need someone of extreme expertise. And when I say expertise, I mean an engineer on the degree of Mako or Zoe or Sarah. You would need someone of their honing and experience. And for when it comes to mystical artifacts, you would need someone with as much of a understanding of that, someone who has devoted their life to it, like a Myra and Sunny, for example. If you had folks like them, this could work. But unfortunately, none of you jackasses have spent enough time focusing on learning that stuff, so you just can't do it on your own.
So you took all of the NPCs that we need and then pushed it out of this arc so that we couldn't do this solution.
Well, look at this. If only we had more friends with us and hadn't run off on our own, we'd have an easy solution to this. Well, golly gee, ain't that just for moral, Lowell?
But hey, we have Cubo and the car.
Wait, yeah, we have fucking Cubo. What's Cubo's expertise?
Yeah, wait, what's that? Is Cubo good at engineering and or mystical artifacts?
Cubo could explain stuff, but
Cubo
Cubo also is a ball.
Cubo can give you random trivia about it, yeah.
Damn it.
Wait, is there a way to phone call somebody? I don't know. I mean, I know that Misha doesn't do that. Well, I guess I kind of did that once, right? When I wanted to know about Face.
Well, hold on. Shock will actually throw up his hands. There could be a way. If we really needed to get in contact with someone, we could maybe amplify Misha's powers. There's a spot here that's connected to the data sphere much more strongly than others. And Misha, with your newfound abilities, we could try something really big, really weird.
I am always willing to try more of my powers It's very fun. And if this can help, then let me know how I can do it, Shock.
Well, I should show you. It's a place over near where we live, so we'd have to backtrack a little bit. But in the caves above the sea, we found a place I first contacted the nanospirits. My thought was that, spoilers for my flashback episode, Baby Shock, while within the powers of the datasphere node, was able to gain, like, vast abilities to see, like, all of the entire surrounding region.
Yeah, essentially he got, like, sensor, but it was souped up. It's called the Ring of Power. What it does is it lets you, essentially for free, use an ability and add 2 XP to it.
Oh.
You know, with an extent. Mm-hmm. But it will be an exaggerated version of your power with no int cost.
My logic was Ari has things like that Datasphere Spy and Datasphere Control. With Misha's like already enhanced powers from having consumed the lady with cinnabar lips, in the Ring of Power, Misha could theoretically just like scan machines across like the entire core book map.
Good Jesus Christ.
Searching for the people we need to find, and then like just possess a machine nearby to speak to them.
So I'm going to put some limits on this. I'm going to say that Misha either has to access a specific machine or can access someone who is attuned to the data sphere. Misha cannot just pick somebody at random. Misha can't just be like, I'm going to pick a machine near Jesse, for example. I don't know why you would call Jesse. Misha either has to hone in on a particular person that has nano powers.
That's Ari. No, that's not true.
Because they can sense that person through the data sphere, or they can sense a specific machine. For example, if you wanted to call Sarah, you would have to be like, I need to pick this specific device that Sarah has. If that makes sense. So that's going to limit the pool of who you can reach out to and call. But I want to ask out of character, who are you going to call?
Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Damn you. Yep. I was too slow.
Anyways, I was thinking, I mean, we have several options that you mentioned. Obviously not Mako, but other than that... Is the professor attuned to the data sphere? Like, I know they know a lot about it. So, like...
Sunny is Stratic Life, as we know, and Myra is in a patron relationship with her. So Myra also can access the data sphere. And they were the two who found and told you about Red's blessing, so they would be likely to know about it.
We should go with them.
Yes.
Which is also super cute. Like, hey, by the way, I'm now his patron.
Oh, you're giving him an update.
I understand what you mean now. But yeah, I would be down for that if everybody else is.
I think that's probably our best bet.
Ooh, I did not expect to do Sunny's voice today.
Oops.
Well, this is a weird feeling. Yes, I did not know something like this was possible. This opens up a new realm of possibilities. But what were you asking about? Everyone, you are in another room of Shock's home. In many respects, it looks like a classroom. There is this projector board and seats of rows of those little wooden singular desks in one corner. In another corner, there is what looks to be like a teacher's desk, but it has a bunch of weird contraband on it. Like there is a airship in a bottle that seems to be patched up. There's like some DAC tape as if it had popped. There's a stack of singed cards, a little sewing area. But besides this decor, the rest of it looks very oppressive. The way we described it was like Empire from Star Wars, the video game Control. Very sleek, very cold. And there are all of these devices that make this giant satellite dish designed to hone in on the data sphere. Specifically around this metal ring that has 2 layers of baby gates surrounding it. The Ring of Power. And inside of this ring hangs a little light that usually doesn't have much light, but grows exponentially with a purple color as Misha Jarvis' badge, who stands underneath it alongside Shock, amplifies their powers to a degree only this circle can provide.
Hello. It is me, Misha Jarvis Badge, and Shock. We are here to ask you a question about Red's blessing. Oh, by the way, beforehand, I am Shock's patron now.
And Sunny just immediately goes, I called it.
I know what you meant now. Thank you for all your advice.
Yes, thank you. I don't know if they can hear me, but...
I assumed so because I introduced Shock.
Yeah, the sound, in fact, everyone inside of the ring of power can hear them. But regardless, Myra jumps in and says, I'm getting the sense, considering you're asking us about Red's blessing, that your business isn't entirely resolved, is it?
Unfortunately, it is not. We are trying to protect Shock's home from the Apocrita, and we want to see how we can potentially incorporate the mechanics of Red Blessing into doing so. Shock probably can explain it better than I can.
There's a powerful shield, an energy barrier that is generated around the entire settlement. It keeps out weather, but...
Oh, so the soldiers would be able to make it through still?
That's our concern. We have no real way to stop a ground attack from Weal. But we were hoping maybe with... Well, we don't understand it well enough, but maybe if we could use some of the technology behind Red's blessing, we could try to break the connection between the soldiers and...
Segment it from the cloud. Like separating a patron nanolink. For someone with a nano connection, of course, that just removes their powers, but for the soldiers, they just return to slates of glass. I think something like that... Yes, absolutely. Yes, something like that could absolutely be done. Because with Red's blessing, the whole point is to connect everything to the host. It, in and of itself, mimics that connection, because it needs to manually connect someone to the Apocrita. So if you found a way to invert that power, yes, you definitely could create something to sever the connection.
Do you have any advice or knowledge about how we can go about creating this?
I have a few ideas, a few things that possibly could work, but how long until he gets there?
I don't know. Last time we spoke, it looked like the cloud was already here, but there's nothing here yet.
And did he know about the wheel before? Did he know where it was?
I think he figured out just last night. I think that's when he learned exactly where it was.
All right, let me pull out a map quickly. And you hear some shuffling of papers and some more shuffling, and papers fall over, and she's like, oh no, and goes to shuffle them up, and Sunny's like, let me get these, dear, you just take care of the rest. And eventually Myra sets a map down, and she says, based on the way that the cloud moves, I would say were he going as fast as he could, it would be probably 3 to 4 days before he reaches you. I think I can get something together for you, but it's going to take me at least a day. Honestly, this would be a good excuse to skip that whole diplomacy thing that Brackleberry wanted to do tomorrow. So, well, just give me a day and I can get you whatever you need. But I can only promise part of it. Getting it actually installed, that's going to be something far beyond what even we can do.
That's more than enough. We will have to work through any snags on our end. All we can ask is anything you can give us.
Yes, we are grateful for any help.
Of course. It's very important to us that we provide whatever aid we can. And we're so glad that you're asking for it. And so you hang up, and the bright purple light goes back to a regular one. And I'm going to say Ness probably takes his shades that he's been wearing because it's so bright and just pockets them again.
I'm so sad because now I'm picturing like the visual comedy of this starting and everyone's like, oh, at the light, and Ness just like slides the shades down like it's a Wallace and Gromit sketch.
Ness does that with his shades, kicks back and goes, well, you've got a lot of work cut out for you.
Yeah, we do. It might take the Apocrita 3, maybe 4 days to reach us. Moira and Sunny need a day to get us some instructions on how we might try to upgrade the shield.
I believe in the meantime we should focus on repairing the shield.
Agreed.
I think so too, but Ellie, you didn't happen to learn any engineering kind of thing from Sarah, did you?
Learn any engineering?
Yeah, Never mind. That was kind of a.
We can try to reach out to Sarah if you'd like to speak to her, Hopper.
And try to reach out. Hopper looks like a little light bulb went off, and he pulls from his pocket
Oh my god.
a small orb, and he says, "Oh, that's right. Sarah gave me this when we left the prodigious. She gave me this orb and said I could use it to find her again."
Oh my god.
So we've had this all along. We've had this all along. We can get Sarah, and we can get anybody else to help us.
Get wrecked, Kyle.
I hope she upgraded it from when I had it.
Oh, you used to have this?
It's a really long story. I had it at one point, and it was not for a very long point, and then she had it. Well, her mother had it back, and then she had it, and then she gave it to you. But when I personally had it for no particular reason, basically I just followed people around.
Because this orb is the orb from Ellie's memories. The wind-up orb that finds anyone who wants to be found.
I had an idea just now that is fucking incredible.
Hit me.
We are on fire today.
So we need to speak to a specific machine if we want to reach out to someone using these powers. And we might be able to, like, locate it using the orb, maybe, if Kyle would allow that.
Tom, you don't need to worry about that. Because you don't need a specific machine anymore. Using this orb, anybody who wants to be found can be found.
Oh, shit.
And as you're mulling over how to use it, Jakel has been scribbling on the blackboard, and he lets out a big sigh. I cannot figure this out. When I look at these information you told me, Shock, right? Everything here on the board. You have this barrier. And if you use it and you modify it and we get the Weal to not panic, you will have to convince them at some point, I hope you understand.
No, I know.
But let's assume that they agree to it. And you can get this, I don't understand, these glass things to separate at the barrier, correct?
That's the hope, yes.
Well, during that time, you'll have to get up to the cloud and fight that. I don't know. The generator it's unstable. Shock, it won't work forever. They're going to find a way in. If you wanted to get up there without any of those things getting in, you need an army protecting this place while you're gone.
Well, since we can find people and we know where they are, we don't even necessarily have to call someone. We can just get them. I could teleport back and teleport people here. We have other friends and allies we've met in our journeys. We could bring more people here. We have time, after all. We have days. That's time enough to convince the Weal, and that's time to bring people here. It wouldn't be an army, but if the soldiers started to get through, or our device never even works in the first place, they could protect the Weal while we fly up to the cloud. It would buy us time, at least, to face Lowell. That could actually work.
That could work.
Wait. So the orb is actually useful now.
Yeah. Hypes up. Everybody's got a plan.
Holy shit. So I was going to ask, is this where we come in with our list of who do we want to return for the finale?
That was unfurling a scroll. And
At the end of next session, I will have a list of every single NPC who is alive from the history of Quest Friends. And with the exception of Lorraine Stiles.
Good, because we would have never called upon her.
Nobody wants her.
Just put her as cannon fodder for the...
All right, your job is to stand outside the shield and take care of the soldiers as they land.
One thing that's sad is that, I want Misha to meet again with Faze, But, like, he's an old dog. I don't want to bring him to the fight. That's just sad.
Right, like, I don't know if Hop's gonna bring his dads to war.
Come on, dads.
Hey.
Get into the trenches.
I mean, he has already convicted one of
That
them.
was so many years ago, Ari. God.
Jakel clearly does not know Shock was not told this, but Horace very clearly lied to Shock and did not tell him this.
Shock had to get it from somewhere.
Oh my god.
Wow. Get out.
His fingers are segmented to allow for maximum finger crossing.
Wow.
They will become true anime gods. Kyle, did you ever predict this?
You haven't even seen my final form.
Maybe this is how we handle the Apocrita wave defense. Like, we get the shield up and running, we send Misha to the data sphere node, and and then Misha just rains avatar state powers down on the Apocrita soldiers as they enter.
So at this point, I feel like I need to repeat what the mechanics of the Wheel of Power do. The Wheel of Power lets you take any ability and amplify it with 2 XP, and it does all of this at no cost.
Like, the power, there's not even a base cost for using the Ring of Power. I could do it normally anyway, for the record, but...
Okay, Shock.
Okay, we don't need to get into this right now. Okay, yeah,
I believe you can.
Well, it's your power anyway, so you better.
That is why I believe you can.